It's 45 or no, 15? Okay.
So that would make it worse. Okay. Swearing in. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the November 14th, 2024 regular meeting of the Moraine City Council to order at 6 o'clock.
I'm not seeing
Roll
audio
call,
from you,
please.
Are you? Miss Murphy?
Here.
Sorry, bear with me here. I'm trying to be able to hear everything. Mayor Murphy?
Here.
Miss Witt?
Here.
Mr. Burchett?
Here.
Miss Marcus?
Here.
Mr. Tartary?
Here.
Mr. Miller? Miss Allen?
Here.
I'll make a motion, we excuse Councilman Dave Miller from this meeting.
Roll call, please.
Miss Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Miss Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Tartary?
Yes.
Miss Allen?
Yes. Okay, now if everyone will stand with me, and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council has copies of the October 24th, 2024 regular council meeting minutes. Does anyone have any changes or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. And tonight, we have 2 oath of offices to do.
Nicholas? Where'd he go? There he is. Okay. Nicholas Miller received his Fire 1 and 2 certification from Sinclair in 2020 and his EMT from Butler Tech in 2023. He spent 3 years in the fire service as a volunteer for Spring Valley and 1 year part-time as a firefighter EMT. We welcome Nick to our great fire department here at Moraine. Connor? Connor Hatchett is a graduate of the Warren County Career Center's Fire Science EMT program, where he obtained his Fire 2 and EMT certification in his final 2 years of high school. He fell in love with his career early into his schooling and has continued to love it. His closest friends are his family. He enjoys every minute he spends with them. The people he keeps closest to him are the people who push him to be the best he can be. Well, we welcome Connor to our.
Okay, you guys all want to leave? You're more than welcome. We know you don't want to stay.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. We can go to reports. Finance Committee, anything to report?
No report, thank you.
Acting Finance Director, anything to report?
My acting finance director report is in the packet. That's all I have.
Committee of the Whole, anything to report?
Yes, our last meeting was on October 24th, and there will be a meeting following this meeting tonight. Thank you.
City Manager, anything to report?
I have nothing beyond the written report unless there are questions, Mayor.
Question? Law Director, anything to report?
Thank you, Mayor. I have actually a request for 7 pieces of legislation to be added to tonight's agenda, so I'll just go through them one by one. The first is an ordinance, which is ordinance 2170-24, authorizing the sale of city-owned property located at 5540 Vance Road and no longer deeded for municipal purposes and declaring an emergency. And the reason for that emergency is, as you know, there's only one council meeting left before the end of the year, so in order to be able to timely execute the sales paperwork and complete the closing, that's why we drafted this as an emergency.
I'll make a motion that that legislation be prepared for the next meeting as an emergency measure per the law director's request.
You've heard-
Actually, it's a motion to add that to this council agenda.
This council,
Yes,
as per the law director's.
okay. You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes,
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. The second request is to add ordinance number 2171-24 to tonight's agenda for a vote. That's an ordinance approving amendments to the table of organization in order to approve a 1% increase in pay rates for non-bargaining unit employees of the city, and also to add the position of police cadet to the table of organization. That's also drafted as an emergency because, again, since there is only one meeting left in the year, in order for that to become effective before the end of the year, it would need to be approved as an emergency.
I'll make a motion that we add ordinance 2171-24 as outlined by the law director on the cost of living adjustment, and for an emergency added to tonight's agenda.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
yes,
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
The third ordinance I'm requesting be added to this evening's agenda is ordinance 2172-24, an ordinance approving current replacement pages to the Moraine Codified Ordinances. This is a housekeeping measure that the council authorizes each year in order to update the MCO to make it consistent with revisions to the Ohio Revised Code. Again, that's also drafted as an emergency for the same reason, because in order to become effective before the end of the year, it would need to be an emergency since we only have one other meeting.
I'll make a motion that ordinance 2172-24 be added to the agenda as per the law director's request.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Allen?
Yes,
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
The next request is to add Resolution 8086-24 to the agenda. That's a resolution confirming the City Council has no objection to the transfer of an Ohio Division Liquor Control C2 class permit for the premises located at 2805 Springboro West in Moraine.
I'll make a motion, we draw up this resolution as per the law director's request.
To add it to
Add
the
it to
agenda.
tonight's agenda.
You've heard the motion, or is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
yes,
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
The next request is to add Resolution 8088-24 to the agenda for this evening. That's a resolution approving revisions to the bylaws of the First Suburbs Consortium of Dayton, Ohio Council of Governments.
I'll make a motion that we add that resolution to tonight's agenda at this meeting per the law director's request.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes?
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. The next resolution I'm requesting be added to the agenda is 8089-24, which is a resolution repealing a prior resolution which authorized the purchase of a transit van for use by the Parks and Recreation Division and authorizing the purchase of a transit van from P. Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge for the price of $68,525. Essentially, the first van became unavailable, and the Parks and Rec had to look for another van.
I'll make a motion that ordinance, resolution 8089-24 be added to tonight's agenda as per the law director's request.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes?
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. And the last resolution I'm requesting be added to the agenda is 8090-24, a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Moraine and the Moraine Professional Firefighters Association, IAFF Local 2981, for the Fire Department Bargaining Unit employees for the period of May 26, 2024 through May 29, 2027.
I'll make a motion to add ordinance 8090-24 regarding the CBA with the fire union as outlined by the law director and added to tonight's agenda as an emergency.
It doesn't need to be an emergency. It's a resolution.
Okay.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Are there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes?
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Now we will go into business.
Ordinance 217024, an ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned real estate located at 5540 Vance Road, Moraine, Ohio, 45439, and no longer needed for municipal purposes and declaring an emergency.
This legislation would allow for the sale of 5540 Vance Road to Automation Systems and Design, Inc. I move to suspend the rules to allow the second reading and final adoption of this ordinance at the meeting at which it was introduced. Declaring an emergency.
Heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes?
Mr. Daughtery?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
I have to do a second reading, is that correct?
Yes.
It's 217024, an ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned real estate located at 5540 Vance Road, Moraine, Ohio, 45439, and no longer needed for municipal purposes and declaring an emergency.
Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes?
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Ordinance 217124, an ordinance approving amendments to the table of organization for a 1% increase in pay rates for non-bargaining unit employees of the city of Moraine, and to add to the position of police cadet to the table of organization and declaring it an emergency.
This is a 1% cost of living adjustment for our non-union staff. Since this is an emergency, I make a motion that the final adoption be at this meeting tonight.
You've heard the motion. Is there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes?
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
It's 217124, an ordinance approving amendments to the table of organization for a 1% increase in pay rates for non-bargaining unit employees of the city of Moraine, and to add to the position of police cadet to the table of organization and declaring an emergency.
Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Ordinance 2172-24, an ordinance approving current replacement pages to the Moraine Codified Ordinances and declaring an emergency.
This will allow for Walter Drain to update our existing codified ordinance pages on the web portal and in our booklets with the approved legislation up to August 22nd of 2024. I make a motion to suspend the rules to allow the second reading and final adoption at the meeting at which it was introduced.
Heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus,
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Ordinance 2172-24, an ordinance approving current replacement pages to the Moraine Codified Ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus,
Yes.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Resolution 808624, a resolution confirming the Moraine City Council has no objections to the transfer of an Ohio Division of Liquor Control C2 class permit to the premise located at 2805 Springboro Road West, Moraine, Ohio.
This liquor permit application concerns 2805 West Springboro Road. The Trex is for a Class 2 or Class C2, C2X permit, and both chiefs and zoning see no concerns related to this Trex. Motion to approve?
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus,
Yes.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Resolution 8087-24, a resolution approving out-of-county conferences and seminars for council members of the city of Moraine to attend during the year of 2025.
This is an annual housekeeping item and approves council travel for 2025 out of county. Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus,
Yes.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Resolution 808824, a resolution approving revisions to the bylaws of the First Suburbs Consortium of Dayton, Ohio Council of Governments.
Approves the updates to the bylaws for the First Suburbs Consortium of Dayton. Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Marcus,
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Resolution 808924, a resolution repealing resolution number 803824 adopted on March 28th, 2024, authorizing the purchase of a transit van for use by the Park and Recreation Division, and further authorizing the city of Moraine to accept the proposal of Key Chrysler Jeep and Dodge, Inc. for purchase of one 2024 Dodge Ram ProMaster Transit van for use by the Park and Recreation Division at a price of $68,525.
The original van is no longer available. This repeals the old resolution and will approve a new one for purchasing a van for the Parks and Recreation. Motion to approve?
You've
Mr.
heard the
Daughtery?
motion.
Oh, sorry.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus,
Yes.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Resolution 809024, a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Moraine and Moraine Professional Firefighters Association, IAFF Local 2981, for the Fire Department Bargaining Unit for the period of May 26, 2024 through May 29th, 2027.
This will approve an agreement between the city and fire union for the next 3 years. Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Witt,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Mr. Daughtery,
Yes.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus,
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes. And now we have a liquor control permit for CJ Chun LLC. It's a voice vote.
Yes, so basically, this is a form that the city regularly gets. Basically, my understanding of what's happening here is there is a change of ownership. There's not a change in the actual liquor permits. I believe PD does not have any issues with that, from what I understand. So what we would need to do is just a voice vote on whether or not you want to request a hearing on that. I don't see any legal basis to request a hearing.
Okay, so voice vote. Mr. Burchett?
To not request a hearing?
Yeah, to not request a hearing.
Yes.
Dougherty? Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, now, if we have anyone appearing before council tonight? Okay? Come to the podium, state your name, switch it on.
Don't get mad at me if I don't do it. My name is John Woody. I'm the president of the firefighters union for so I represent the group that you just approved the resolution for the contract for. I really just wanted to come forward tonight and say thank you. I know this has been a long process, and I know the city manager has kept you guys abreast of the many, many meetings and emails we've had going back and forth. For those of you that don't know a little bit of history on this, we really haven't had to open our contract and truly update it in 9+ years. So 3 contracts, most of the time we did very minimal things. This year, it was time to get it updated, so we actually had quite a lot of work ahead of us. Naturally, things got a little heated, as they do. If they didn't, somebody wasn't doing their job fully. But I did specifically want to come out and say thank you to the city manager, the fire chief, finance director who jumped in the middle of this, the law director who has put in hours on this, as I'm sure, as well as the HR administrator. She played a big role in helping draft things after we discussed them to make sure what we discussed actually made sense when we wrote it down, because as firemen, when we write things, it doesn't always come out the best. But like I said, so I just wanted to come out and say thank you for the effort. I know this has been a very long process because I believe we were the last ones to finish. So surprise, surprise there. But now that you guys have gotten this handled, I'm going to walk out of here and go down the street and work on our end and hopefully get it approved. That way we can get it handled next week. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Else wishing to appear before council? No?
We're looking at you, Tommy.
Okay, then we will go into any other business. Fire department, anything to report?
Nothing to report, ma'am, thank you.
Police department, anything to report?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Street department, anything to report?
Nothing to report other than I did bring the new dump truck over that was approved. It's out front, so after the meeting, if anybody wants to take a look at that, we really appreciate that. That's going to help us out greatly. And we are expecting the second one next month. So I probably won't bore everybody and drive it over here. So if you want to see one, you better go out and look at that one. That's it. Thanks.
Parks and Recreation Director, anything to report?
I just want to say thank you for the van. Sorry about what happened to the first one, but things happen. So I really appreciate that. And I just want to say the Christmas Smiles, if anybody want to adopt somebody, it closes on Saturday. And then we would love to have all the presents in by December 4th, so then we can get ready for pickup day on December 14th. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Building and Zoning Administrator, anything to report?
Nothing to report, Mayor. Thank you.
City Planner, anything to report? Well, he's not here. City Engineer,
Nothing to report, thank you.
City Manager, anything further to report?
Just to let you know that staff is working extremely hard about our temporary move over to the rec center. And they've kind of defined dates, and we'll make sure that we'll get those to you. And Aaron is doing a great job in trying to get that out to the public, to let them know when we're transitioning from this location over there, you know, for anybody that's coming in, pursuing permits, has questions, paying fines, whatever it may be. So primarily, we're in the first two rooms when you walk in the front doors. Admin staff will be on both sides of that. And then lastly, Chris was talking about the truck, but you may have seen some of the Christmas decorations are going up. So Streets has had a big learning curve. I think they're doing a good job. I was talking to 3 of them yesterday that were putting up the Christmas tree, and I think it went without a hitch, except our star's not right, Chris?
That'll come Tuesday.
Yeah. So they're doing a good job trying to learn that process as well. That's all I have.
Law Director, anything further to report?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Acting Finance Director, anything further to report?
I have nothing additional. Thank you.
Ms. Allen, anything to report?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Ms. Marcus, anything to report?
No report.
Ms. Witt, anything to report?
I have a couple of things. The Hurricane Relief fundraiser held over at the Payne Center on November 1st raised over $10,000. Tommy probably can give us an exact amount. I think Pastor Watts and Jury, Tommy, Erica, all of them, everybody at First Freedom Baptist Church and Moraine City First Church of God, they did such a tremendous job in doing this fundraiser, and they normally do it for needy families in Moraine, but this year they sent it out to North Carolina, so I think they deserve a big hand. And And I knew that, I failed to mention that, I'm sorry. And I'd also like to thank the street department. I was in Virginia for a funeral last week and got a call from my neighbor across the street. A tree had fallen, and he said, I have to tell you, you've got to brag on the street department. He said within 15 minutes from the time he called, they had somebody out there taking down that tree. So Chris, he was so impressed, and I said, I'll have to let him know. So thank you for a job well done. And everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Mr. Dougherty, anything to report?
Just thank you for everybody who showed up last week and voted for me. I know I ran unopposed, but it's still nice to get that reinforcement there. But otherwise, happy Thanksgiving, and truck looks great, Chris. That's all I have.
Mr. Burchett, anything to report?
The only thing I have is I attended a monthly board meeting of the MVRPC last week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, and I would like to say I still would like to welcome our new firefighters, Nicholas Miller and Connor Hatchett, and to wish everyone happy Thanksgiving and be safe. Everyone be safe on this holiday. I would also like to thank the Miami Valley Communications Council for broadcasting this meeting live, as well as any future rebroadcast. This regular council meeting is adjourned at 6:33.